Welcome to the Sports Report. I'm Brock Baldridge. March Madness is finally here. Oklahoma State men's and women's basketball are each looking forward to the Big 12 Conference Tournament next weekend in Kansas City. However, the men's team in particular has a couple of games to make up on the road before they shift their focus to next week. Oklahoma State baseball is off to a red-hot start to their season, and Cowgirls softball looks forward to their home opener this weekend. All that and more coming up next on the Sports Report. Oklahoma State men's and women's basketball are in the final stretch of their 2020-21 seasons. It's now March, and that can only mean one thing: madness. Both teams will be in Kansas City next weekend for the Big 12 Conference Basketball Tournament. The women's tournament will be held at Municipal Auditorium in downtown Kansas City from March 11th to the 14th. All times and schedules for the games are still to be announced. As for the men's team, they still have a couple more games to play on the road before they can start thinking about the conference tournament. The Cowboys will play the two top teams in the Big 12 starting Thursday as they head for Waco to take on the newly crowned conference champions, the Baylor Bears. Then head to Morgantown, West Virginia this Saturday to take on the Mountaineers. Both these games are makeup games due to the COVID-19 protocols that postponed them earlier in the season. ESPN's Joe Lunardi currently has the Oklahoma State Cowboys projected as a 4 seed to make the NCAA tournament. If the Cowboys make the NCAA tournament, this would be their first appearance since 2017. The Cowboys have not won an NCAA tournament game since 2009, where they beat the Tennessee Volunteers. Let's take a look at the current Big 12 basketball standings. Last night, the Baylor Bears got a big win on the road against West Virginia to secure their first ever Big 12 Conference Championship and their first conference championship since 1950. The West Virginia loss moves the Mountaineers down to third place as they switch spots with Kansas. Oklahoma State went from 7th to 4th place within a week. Texas is in the middle of the pack at 5th. The Oklahoma Sooners fall all the way down to 6th place after losing 3 straight. Texas Tech is in there at 7th, TCU 8th, K-State in 9th, and Iowa State in last place. Amazing, the Cyclones were conference champion tournament champs only 2 years ago. Moving on to Oklahoma State baseball, the Cowboys are off to their best start in 7 years. Yesterday, the Cowboys went on the road to take on the Missouri State Bears in Springfield. The team continued their winning streak and shut out Missouri State by a score of 7-0. This ties the best start by a Cowboy baseball team has ever had under head coach Josh Holliday. The Cowboys were led by starting pitcher Justin Campbell, who struck out a career-high 12 batters in 6 innings to earn his first win of the season. Oklahoma State is now 7-0 with an undefeated record to start the season and will now head back to O'Brate Stadium this weekend for a 3-game homestand against Grand Canyon University. The baseball team won't be the only ones in action this weekend in Stillwater. The Cowgirls softball team is set to have their home opener this weekend for the OSU Tulsa Invitational. The Cowgirls are off to a great start this season with a 13-1 record. The Cowgirls will take on the University of Nebraska-Omaha in a doubleheader this Friday in Stillwater starting at 2:30 p.m. Central. Shifting gears now for some NBA news. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be playing tonight in Dallas to take on the Dallas Mavericks. The game is set to tip off at 7:30 p.m. Central. This will be the second to last game the Thunder will play before heading to the NBA All-Star break. The Thunder also had some big news yesterday, announcing that Oklahoma City will be the first NBA team to not host fans for the rest of the entire season. Due to COVID-19, the team did not feel comfortable hosting thousands of fans in the arena quite yet. The team looks to focus their attention to host fans for the 2021-22 season. The NBA All-Star Game will be held this weekend, March 7th at 7 p.m. in Atlanta, Georgia. The NBA has also announced its participants for the skills contest, three-point contest, and dunk contest. The NBA skills contest will showcase Luka Doncic, Chris Paul, Robert Covington, Julius Randle, Domantas Sabonis, and Nikola Vucevic. The three-point contest will showcase Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Zach LaVine. And finally, the dunk contest will only have 3 participants this year, and they will be showcasing Obi Toppin, Cassius Stanley, and Anthony Simmons. The skills contest and 3-point contest will take place before the All-Star game tips off, and the dunk contest will take place at halftime during the All-Star game. Some NFL news now. While J.J. Watt's new team, the Arizona Cardinals, surprised many by signing the All-Pro pass rusher, his former team, the Houston Texans, were still making moves. The Texans renewed the contract of starting running back David Johnson to a 1-year deal worth $6 million with $4.25 million guaranteed. Johnson was involved in the trade last year that sent former Texans star receiver DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona last offseason. The Miami Dolphins released starting linebacker Kyle Van Noy, who finished his first year of his 4-year, $51 million contract. Some NFL insiders and experts believe this is a move by the Dolphins to open up some cap space and potentially trade or sign a star quarterback. It's not like Deshaun Watson's available or anything. Other transactions in the league included Minnesota Vikings to release their 2-time Pro Bowl tight end Kyle Rudolph. Rudolph spent the last 10 seasons with the Vikings. A final note, the Oklahoma State men's golf team is wrapping up the final day of their 3-day tournament at the Cabo Collegiate in San Antonio, Texas. The team currently sits in a 3-way tie for 8th place, 24 over par. In-state rival Oklahoma is currently at the top of the leaderboard. That's all the time we have today for the Sports Report. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at the same time for the Sports Report.